Coming up, demolishing this ugly extension. You may remember we bought this abandoned house in Italy. At the back you could see this decayed extension, a clear mismatch with the original structure. It was obviously a much later addition, and to us it lacks the symmetry and grandeur that defined the old house. The extension has no proper foundation, and its crooked, failing walls told their own story of neglect. One day, as we were working outside, an Italian woman in her 60s walked up to us and started sharing her story. More than 50 years ago, she had lived here with her mother. She recalled warm summer days when, as a teenager, she and her friends would walk through the fields to the sea. The house, she explained, had belonged to Il Patrone, a wealthy landowner, while her mother worked as a servant. They lived in the extension upstairs, above the animal sheds. Il Patrone occupied the main floor, and the farmer lived in what is now our storage room on the ground floor. We still haven't pieced together exactly why the house was eventually abandoned, but we found letters and notebooks from 100 years ago. Downstairs, in the stables, there was a sink and an old built-in oven, which caused a fire that blackened the walls and ceiling. Upstairs, black mold is creeping up the walls. Considering the bad condition of the extension, the architect advised us to rebuild it, but we are not sure if it fits the old house.
Ja, hier zit cement in nog bij.
So first things first, we decided to demolish the extension. The demolition company surprised us with a call at 8:30 in the morning that they'd be arriving at 9. As you may have seen in a previous episode, we built a temporary house and had stored the leftover wood in this extension. We were still moving leftover wood out when the crew showed up. The demolition team of 3 worked with impressive speed and skill with heavy machinery. They didn't want to take any breaks, so we prepared espresso in our shaking new shed and handed them this in their excavators while the engines kept running. The price for the demolition was €4,000, much lower than the 10,000 quoted by another contractor who had planned to do everything by hand. Within hours, half of the extension was gone and the original walls and doors started to appear. The risk of demolishing the extension this way is losing the old bricks that we need to repair the walls. Everything came down in one big pile of concrete, wood, large steel beams, iron wiring, and those beautiful old bricks already kissed by the sun. It was a creative mixture of different materials and random building styles, and it made us wonder how solid the extension in itself was. It seems like it was built in the 70s, using materials that were on hand at the time. Even the bricks came from different areas. The old yellow bricks are typical for the Marke region, where the clay is of a light sandy color, and the red bricks are of a later era and maybe from a different region. We wish we had more insight in why the house and the extension were built in this way, because it's helpful to restore her to the glory of the old days. So if you have any ideas or tips, please let us know in the comments. Meanwhile, on the other side of the little house, they started cleaning and preparing the area where the debris would go. The team tried to separate the materials best they could with their heavy gear, and in between we were running around with a wheelbarrow trying to save as many old bricks as possible. We wanted to save them because they cost €1 a piece. We continued even when the crew was enjoying their lunch and after their workday. The next day, the debris was ground into rubble and shoveled to the place where hopefully one day a swimming pool will be. The rubble will serve as the pool's foundation and not end up in a landfill mixed with trash. We love a pool because temperatures rise to almost 40 degrees in summer here. It has a low priority. We found out it's pretty expensive and we want to do the structural renovation first. Even when the rain set in, the team continued and managed to finish the works within 2 days. The crew left us and we ended up with this.
You can see where the kitchen used to be, where the sink used to be, where the fireplace used to be. So it's not just demolishing the annex, but we also have to redo this part of the outside. We separated the old bricks from the new bricks. So the new bricks we've moved out, but the old bricks we kept. And we have quite a nice pile. And we have plans for them because of course we're going to restore the wall with these beautiful old bricks. And that will take some skill, by the way, because none of them has exactly the same size as you would expect from old bricks. But the color and the vibe they give is exactly what we're looking for. We also have to redo some windows. You can see where the door used to be. But of course, that's going to be a window, just like this window here. That's now the kitchen.
We do have the permission to build a new extension, but we believe the house is better without it. We may be allowed to reuse the volume for another structure elsewhere on the property, but for now it inspired us to start a new project.
Ja?
Yep.
Wat is dat?
Yep.
Also because we found blue ceramic tiles of the 60s in the old stable. Not really sure how this will come together as we never laid bricks before. Subscribe to see more.